It's tough, challenging opponent. Always give us trouble. It's always a battle when we face those guys, whether it's in a regular game or AFC Championship. We know it's going to be a four-quarter battle.
Last year, you guys played in the regular season. No Joe Burrow that time. What have you seen? You just got one game of tape this year. What do you think of where he is right now, getting back in the mix?
Joe Burrow is Joe Burrow, man. Great quarterback. Can make all the tough throws, resilient, and got a lot of special guys around him. So it's a tough team.
Chris, is it fun to face a team that two teams don't really like each other? Seems like kind of a rivalry there.
I mean, righteously, if you look at it from that standpoint, I mean, it's always a challenge. It's always a lot of competitive edges within a game, just how many games have been played and how often we've competed against one another and how have they taken place. I think we only beat Joe Burrow twice. I think he has to one up on us. We beat him last year, but Joe Burrow didn't play, so it's always something to look forward to.
How much do you relish in the fact that you could take up 2 players, 3 players, and then that allows George to get one-on-one, especially in a game like this?
George got to get more sacks. We got to get more sacks, man. That's the case. Just to make sure Tershawn Wharton and Mike Dana, all those guys are going early in the game. And getting George Karlaftis started early, I think this can be effective for us as a whole.
We mentioned some of the kind of jawing back and forth, little locker room talk, guys talk this way and that way. And Burrowhead, the whole 9 yards a couple of years ago, is you don't have that with a lot of teams, right? There's not much of that going on. What is it about these two teams getting together where there is kind of that kind of talking back and forth?
I think that transpired by the importance and the intensity of the game and just how many times Joe Burrow has came in here and beat us in our home stadium. And I think his teammates came up with their name and stuck with us. I think it was fair to say at the moment, right? He had beat us, I think, 3-1. So I don't think it was a rivalry at that point until we started winning more games.
How do you see this one? It's early, right? But it's AFC game and tiebreaker type things. If you look down at the playoffs, I know they're all important, but does this one have a little edge to it? I guess.
Yeah. In the later of the year, it can be your record can be affected by it, whether it comes down to us having the same record or positioning on playoff. I think it's very important, especially for us and where we're trying to go and how this playoff is only one bye week now, and also the home field advantage, which is important for us. We would definitely love to stay at home, but it's kind of early to be worried about that. I think more so it's about making sure we're competing at a high level, facing a tough opponent, an AFC opponent at that.
Chris, with the quarterback like Joe Burrow, how important is it from a rush lane perspective to kind of maintain him in the pocket so he can't take off?
Joe Burrow is a heck of a quarterback on throwing the ball and making all the tough throws, but I think his running ability doesn't go as noticeable as everybody see. He can run the ball exceptionally well. I think he's a step-up guy. It's different from Lamar, where Lamar can run any A gap, B gap, or C gap. He can extend plays like that. But I think Joe Burrow, his running doesn't get as capitalized as his throwing does, but he's an effective runner when he has the space. So we definitely got to be cognizant on our pass rushing lanes.
And kind of speaking of Lamar, going through that last week where it seems like he's running around for 20 yards and you guys are having to chase it, how do you kind of have to maintain that stamina so you can have that energy there towards the end?
Yeah, it's very challenging chasing Lamar all over the field. As you can see, fourth quarter it showed at times. But it's a different type of quarterback. Lamar definitely runs a 4.2, 4.3. Joe Burrow is 4.7, 4.6, 4.8, somewhere in that area. But he's still effective on his feet. So being cognizant, I definitely love to chase Joe Burrow around other than Lamar. Anybody other than Lamar. It always offers a different type of challenge when you're rushing the passer.
Last one, Pete.
Sorry, Chris. You're one of the better pass rushers in the league. Asking about a teammate, what's your assessment of Leo Chenal, even though it's a different position, as a pass rusher?
He's been very effective for us, whether it's playing in coverage linebacker, whether it's setting the edge for us as an outside linebacker, or as asking him to line up at a three tech and bear front and, play his gap. And his talent showed for us last week where we was able to ask him from so many different positions, and that just shows you the body of work Leo has been put it forward. Starting with training camp and the year before that, but this year it's a little more trust into it, and they're moving him around. He's been very effective for this defense.